Fans can't hold back their tears, Ben. And Jessa Seewald share huge sad news fans. Are shocked I am Nava. Welcome to Duggar Family News, your go-to spot for the latest Duggar family news and everything in between. Don't forget to subscribe. The heartbreaking news shared by Ben and Jessa Seewald resonated deeply with their fans. And it was more than just a sad announcement, it was an invitation for vulnerability, courage, and healing. And it showed just how powerful sharing one's pain can be. As public figures, they didn't just choose to hide behind their privacy, they chose to embrace their grief and share it with their community. This raw honesty allowed others who have experienced similar losses to find solace and connection in their video. As Jessa spoke candidly about their miscarriage, it was evident that this was a journey not only of loss, but of healing. Both Jessa and Ben had always been so open about their lives. From their early courtship to the birth of their children, their fans watched with admiration as they weathered life's ups and downs. Their transparency built a connection that was unique, fueled by the shared authenticity of both joy and sorrow. And now, in the depths of heartbreak, they chose to continue this journey with the same openness that had endeared them to so many over the years. Jessa's decision to share such an intimate moment with the world was not an easy one. Miscarriage, even in the most private of circumstances, is a grief that feels isolating. The stigma around discussing pregnancy loss can often make people feel as though they must suffer alone, especially when society tends to expect people to return to normal after such tragedies. But Jessa made the brave decision to not allow the world to view her loss as something to be swept under the rug. Then's quiet yet steadfast support became another focal point for many fans, while Jessa carried the weight of the grief openly, then stood by her, not just as a husband, but as a pillar of emotional strength. His role in this story was just as essential as hers. In some ways, his silence spoke louder than any words could. His presence beside Jessa conveyed the message that grief doesn't have a timetable or a right way to express itself, and importantly, it reminded people that men too experience deep emotional pain in the wake of such loss. Fans watching this intimate moment unfold on social media couldn't help but be moved by the Seawald's transparent approach. The Seewalds have long been admired for their resilience, and this moment was no different. But the response from their community proves something important. Community is just as much about sharing in joy as it is about sharing in grief. Messages of support poured in from all corners of the world. Fans who had once only known the Seawalds through their television screens, through their carefully curated social media posts, now felt a deeper sense of connection. They saw not just a reality TV family, but real people. Their grief, their loss, was something everyone could relate to on some level, no matter their background or life story. And it wasn't just women who reached out. Couples, single parents, men, and families from all walks of life joined in offering their condolences and stories of support. It became clear that what Jessa had shared wasn't just a personal story, it was the collective experience of loss, of resilience, and of finding hope. Even in the midst of despair, through their open hearts, they encouraged others to open up. Many women shared their own stories of miscarriage. For the first time, some shared tears of pain, while others shared stories of healing. A sense of community, like a network of invisible threads, began to form. What Jessa and Ben had inadvertently done was not just start a conversation, but create a movement, one that reminded everyone that there is strength in numbers and healing in vulnerability. One of the most touching responses came from a fan who shared that she had suffered multiple miscarriages in silence, never feeling like she could speak out or that anyone would understand. She had kept her pain hidden for years. After hearing Jessa's story, she finally found the courage to talk about her own experiences and even seek professional help for her grief. She wasn't alone anymore. For the first time, In a long time, she felt Ben and Jessa have always been strong advocates for their faith in many of their social media posts. They shared how deeply important their Christian beliefs are to them. This time, faith became their foundation in a way that was felt by their fans. In her posts, Jessa reflected on how, despite the sorrow they felt, they were still leaning on their faith and trusting God's plan for their family. We believe that God has a greater purpose for us, even in the midst of our heartache. She wrote, "It's hard to see that now, but we're choosing to believe it." The response to the Seewald's openness about faith was powerful for many. Their words were a source of hope, an example of how to find peace, even in the most painful moments. Jessa's words were particularly moving when she spoke about the hope that had carried her through. "In our hearts, we trust that our little one is in heaven with God," she said, "and while we never got to hold them in our arms, we will always carry them in our hearts as part of their healing journey." The Seewalds found solace not just in faith, but in their children. Their kids, already a source of immeasurable joy, became reminders of the joy still present in their lives. Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, and Fern brought light into the Seewald's home when darkness seemed overwhelming. As Ben and Jessa navigated their grief, their children unknowingly helped them remember that while grief may always linger, life continues in beautiful and unexpected ways. As part of their commitment to helping others, Ben and Jessa have been vocal about their desire to raise awareness around pregnancy loss. The couple has been involved with organizations that support women and families who have experienced miscarriage. Their openness has encouraged others to seek out resources and find communities where they can share their grief and healing. Even with all the love and support, grief continues to follow Ben and Jessa's journey. It doesn't magically go away, but as Jess explained, they are taking it one day at a time. She spoke about the importance of patience, both with themselves and others. "We don't have all the answers," she said, "and that's okay. We're learning to sit with our pain, to grieve when we need to, and to celebrate life even when it feels too hard." Their story is one of resilience. The Seawalds has shown us that even in the darkest moments there is light, and that light often comes from the people around us, from the community that surrounds us, from the love that supports us, and from the faith that sustains us. Then and Jessa's decision to share their grief has not only inspired countless individuals, but has also reminded us all that there is no shame in experiencing pain. There is no shame in feeling loss. There is no shame in being vulnerable. This chapter in their lives is a reminder that grief is not something to hide. It's something to acknowledge and share. It's a reminder that we all experience loss, and in that loss we are united. No one should have to face pain alone. And by sharing our stories, we make it easier for others to heal. As the Seawalds continue their journey one step at a time, they do so with the same love, faith, and commitment to each other and their family that has always defined them. Their story is one of healing, hope, and unwavering love, and it continues to inspire us all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for the next video.